Brian Tramel, RynoJB, Rollin Into Mempho.
All right, live at 304 Studios in Jonesboro, Arkansas. This is STSpod.club production. I'm BT. How the hell are you, JB?
Another Saturday, another blessing. I'm doing great. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing good. And this is 52 weeks. 52 weeks equals 1 year. We were talking right before we went on air. We have produced 54 episodes of Rollin Into Mempho, a couple of special episodes. Man, just crazy. A fun run. And they say that people start podcasts, and then within 10 weeks, they quit. You know, there's so many podcasts out there. It's hard to. Now, you did have a guy who, this is episode 550, so you knew I was going to be in there with you. You never know how it happens. I mean, was we going to jail? Me and you weren't friends before this. I mean, it could have been a disaster. I was good from the start. I mean, I know that, JB, and you were horrible. But I have we jailed really quick. People persons. How's that? And we were able to, I don't know, man, it's an accomplishment for me, and I know it is for you too. 1 year of doing Rollin Into Mempho. I know it's a big accomplishment to Maria and Dustin and the whole crew there for the show. 52 shows, as we say in the business, in the can. 52 shows. That's 52 shows of original material. That's crazy. That is so crazy, so crazy. I just want to mention real quick, go to and like our Facebook page, because I put a bunch of stuff, and I'm going to mention a little bit from Tuckerman, Arkansas this past week. Also, I'll be putting American Hostile Championship Wrestling guys. Big crowds. I don't know if you know this, but in Malden, Missouri, had a huge crowd this past weekend. Big. Man, I seen Tuckerman, Arkansas, and it looked, if it wasn't sold out, it was very near to being sold out. And Memphis was sold out Sunday. So huge crowds in the Mid-South. We're excited about that. I put videos up on the Facebook page if I can get it. So go to stspod.club. To the right side, you can join Patreon. And also right under there is our Facebook page. That's the easiest way to get to that stuff. Also, if you're a Patreon member today, we do special things, Rhino, and today we will be revealing the brand new theme song. And here's the cool thing. The brand new theme song is from a championship for Memphis wrestler. So there you go. See, my STS pod theme song is from the referee there. And now the Memphis Wrestling wrestler does our theme song. You're going to love it. Stay tuned, Patreon. You'll get to hear it. All right, today I'll quit talking and we'll talk some more. We do hits, misses, MVP, question of the week we'll have in there. We'll also talk about what we look forward to on next week's show, and just the must-see. What was the must-see on the show? So let's start with hits.
I got a lot of hits for you this episode, BT. Very, very, very fun episode here. Let's start with Uncle Mikey and Kid Wrestling. Very good match there. I mean, start off with a banger. And Uncle Mikey even mentioning, hey, look, all the Skimmerhorns got to do, listen to the fans. We can win the big one together. I got to give a huge shout out to the Butt Bongos. That's a new move right there.
Loved it.
That's a new one, BT. I don't know if you've ever
loved it.
Loved when Ray Sanders got involved in the mix-up in that match. It had a lot of entertaining factors to it, but it was a great, solid wrestling match as well. K Toomer coming out, reminding everyone exactly who he is around here. I think the last time we saw him, I could be wrong, but I think the last time we saw him, he lost that match to Austin Lane. But coming out here, reminding the entire locker room and everyone watching exactly.
Wait, JB. He didn't lose. He never submitted. You didn't hear it coming out. He didn't get pinned.
But the decision in the book says what? It says what in the book?
A big L. We're a big L in the book.
Oh, man. Diana Taylor. Man, BT, I think we're looking at a future champion right here. I'm thinking about putting the chips in. She's doing the work. I've been saying this for weeks. It seems like she's focused on becoming the women's champion. And I'm very curious where that focus is going to take her. I'm thinking about putting my chips on a future champion right there. Country Rock getting their chips up, putting in the work, making it do what it do at the Russell Center, selling some burgers, some merch, getting the money together for Big Jack. Even the fans getting involved there, saying, "Big Jack, what do you need? We're willing to give our money up for Country Rock." That's when you know they're over. That's when you know they're over. And right now, Country Rock's looking great. Mike Anthony versus Martin was a great matchup.
Good match.
There was a nasty German suplex in that match, man. It looked nasty, but now I said, man, I got to put that on my hits list right there. That was a nasty little spill, but it goes to praise to the testament of how good Martin is. Dustin Starr was talking about that during his match, how good Martin is. We all know how good Mike Anthony is. We've seen him go toe-to-toe with the best in this company, but we've also seen the same from Martin, though we've seen more of entertainment from Martin. I think we're starting to open that door. This is a person you got to take seriously in the wrestling ring, especially when he told the guys to stay in the back and he was going to do it all on his own. He's willing to go out there and fight. And also he didn't tap or he wasn't pinned either. So that was an interesting way for him to go. His selling ability is absolutely amazing. Ryan Piles had a great promo, and Jimmy Blaylock with elements of wrestling. I love it, BT. I love it. You never know. I hope it happens. I'm putting my chips on it. David Ali versus Carlos Rios was an awesome match in itself. And then, of course, you had Uncle Rhino. I'm Nephew Rhino. Uncle Rhino came through with Tiger Joe and laying out Derek King. Where do we go from here?
Love the end. Yes, I'll start at the end. Tiger Joe coming out with the neck brace. Andy Kaufman. Love it. Love it. Love it. Andy Kaufman, Memphis Wrestling. Comes out, and you know something's going to happen. I didn't have any idea. I forgot Rhino was supposed to be on the show. And all of a sudden we had Rhino come out, and I'm thinking, Rhino's going to be healing? But we really don't know whether Derek's a heel or a babyface or whatever. But he did get the gore. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. To the top then, Uncle Mikey, love what they're doing with him. Fans love Uncle Mackie. We're going to eventually turn him, and he'll probably have to turn him against the Skimmerhorns eventually. Let me just tell you something, Rhino. If you don't know this, K Toomer is pissed. Dude, he is pissed. He came out there and kicked some ass. I love that. I love the idea of, we're not going to let that loss be a big deal. We're going to still put him over as the monster he is. I love Heather and Amber together. Oh, my God. You put these two girls together, give them a microphone. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Awesome match. Another good match from Mike Anthony against Martin. Martin does some really good punches with both hands. So really, really good. And my last hit was the Tiger Joe and the ending of the match with Rhino doing the gore on Derek King. So there we go. How about your missus, brother?
My missus go to WWE for involving themselves during our wrestling time. How dare they try to interfere with what we got going on? Also, we saw a couple of mic issues there with the promos there in the building. That was a miss for me. Couldn't really hear what they were saying. You would have to really be paying attention. And I felt like there were some really good spots during those promos. But those are my only two misses.
Just if you are listening to us on a mobile device and decide, hey, I want to go, I want to watch the chamber, you can go to Dave & Buster's right now. Go in there, tell them Rhino and BT from Championship Wrestling from Memphis sent you, and they'll give you a free game card. I just put that over. I'll be watching on Peacock later. The sound was messed up during the interviews, and I'm just saying, I don't really know the technical part, but there's two lines that go. So one line wasn't working when we were hearing it. It was going to the crowd, but not going to the TV. Like you said, that was probably one of the big misses there. Let me tell you, I don't hardly ever say bad things about the Young Goats. I really don't. I don't. Huge fan, huge mark for both guys. I've already booked Zay Washington as a champion by this time next year. But that interview and them going around the ring, dude, if someone poked my eye out, I'd be effing pissed. I'd be
You
mad.
know, they got love for the fans. They got love for their fans.
No. They got love for the fans, but man, they should have been a lot madder than that. They got their titles stolen. They got their eye poked out. Let me see. Let me talk to your girlfriend. Let me see if she'll poke your eye out and see how mad you are. All right.
Wait, is she doing it or are you going to do it?
I'm going to have her do it. I'll pay her.
I wouldn't be that mad. I wouldn't be that mad.
David Ali, to me, I think there was so much stuff missed in that match, and I'm not sure with Ali the last 2 weeks now, it's almost like the front of every one of those matches, Anthony last week, this week, I don't know. There's something missing with Ali. Hopefully we get everything in line now. But don't usually, Ali's a good worker, so I don't know what's going on there. Real quick, we said something about Patreon. We were supposed to put out Dustin Starr and Shooting Star this past week to the Patreon listeners, but we haven't had a chance. We've been so busy. But as soon as it's recorded, I'm talking about as soon as we get done, it goes to the Patreon feed. The video also will go to the Patreon feed. But it will be a whole 4 weeks before it goes to the main feed. Subscribe right now, guys. Only $5. Let's do MVP next.
Man, I am up in arms about my MVP, but I think I'm giving it to Martin. I thought Martin did a great job putting that match over. I thought he did a great selling job. I thought he did everything perfect at all cylinders. I'm a huge Mike Anthony fan, love Mike Anthony, but I think Martin really did a great job showcasing why he's a great wrestler, as was reiterated time and time again by Dustin Starr. So he's my MVP this week.
I have no problem with that, but I'm going with the other guy in the ring. You need two good dance partners, and they were really, really good together. Mike Anthony, I said this last week, Mike Anthony is on a tear. I don't think in the last 2 to 3 months I've seen a bad match with this guy.
Agreed.
And love the match. Mike Anthony's my MVP. All right, man, you know what time it is. It's time for Question of the Week.
Hello, everybody. Dustin Starr back with another Question of the Week on the Rollin Into Mempho Podcast. And this week's question comes from Posse Be Fine. Said it was a huge shock when the Posse turned heel. Is there another superstar or team that would shock you more if they turned? No, I don't think there is another one that would shock me more than the Posse turning, because if you remember in the very first episode inside the Wrestle Center, in the premiere, they came out with hard hats on and we put them over big time about how they helped build the Wrestle Center and literally with their bare hands helped build the Wrestle Center. And then for them to destroy it, tear it apart, turn on the fans, turn on Memphis wrestling, and to turn on me, I don't think that there would be a bigger surprise than Memphis wrestling. But if I did have to rank some, I never, ever in a million years would ever see Big Swole turning and doing the wrong thing. Other than that, Big Swole, the Posse, maybe Gun Show Brett Michaels, I don't see any reason why he would want to go to the dark side. This is all about the spirit of competition, and what the Posse did has nothing to do with competition. So no, there wouldn't ever be a bigger surprise than what the Posse did. BT, RynoJB, what do you guys think?
All right, I'm going to comment about this, Rhino. So I'm all about, I talk about what goes on behind the scenes. I'm about the storyline. I'm real big into that and what it means. There's not a better storyline the way they did this. They started this storyline the very first episodes by showing them, and that upset me because I said, "Why are you showing the Posse putting together?" I said, "You don't want to show your wrestlers there doing that." There was a reason, guys, and that was last week. There was a reason, and I'm going to be with Dustin here. I always piggyback you. I'm piggybacking Dustin on the biggest surprise to me was the Posse, because I said this on a lot of shows, Rhino. I wouldn't use the Posse except for comedy. I would have them doing comedy, maybe having quick matches, blah, blah, blah. Man, was I wrong? Because the match that they have coming up with the GOATs is going to be just a brawl, and I never would have expected them to be heels. So, who would surprise you to turn?
For me, Uncle Mikey, his whole thing is about being with the fans, and he's literally in the midst of fighting with his family over this very issue. So for him to actually say, you know what, Skimmerhorns, you're right. I was looking at this wrong. Well, I shouldn't have been listening to the fans. I should have been listening to you. Oh my God, that would be huge. I couldn't see that happening. But I don't think that there is a bigger one than the posse. I didn't see that coming.
Maybe Dustin. Maybe Dustin turns against everybody.
Oh yeah,
maybe Dustin and Maria go heel.
Oh, that would be crazy.
Let me tell
yeah,
you, Rhino,
Dustin.
I've seen them heel, so I know they can heel. So
and
she, especially Maria, she's got that slap that she hit
Ooh,
with
still
Simon.
got
So
it.
all right, guys, that was question of the week. Now what do you look forward to either next week or upcoming weeks? What do you want to look forward to?
Man, BT, you might know this, you might not. I'm a bit of a party goer. I love parties. I just love to party. I'm hoping that we see the elements of wrestling partying with those championship rings. That's what I'm hoping for, a party, man. That's what
all
I'm
right. Looking forward to a party there. I actually wrote down the Jimmy Blaylock, Hollywood Jimmy.
Yes.
If Hollywood Jimmy dresses like, I don't know, you probably don't know, but he had a gimmick dress where a white suit in the whole 9 yards and different suit colors, but he would be awesome with them. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do there. I'm looking forward to the other semifinal match and seeing what happens, because you know what? Some people don't know this. But Mike Anthony and Action Jackson, kayfabe guys, turn it off if you don't want to hear it. They're the OMGs, my friend.
Yes, they are.
They end up against each other. Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Talking about putting butts in the seats.
And speaking of Hollywood Jimmy, now there was a video released at 11 a.m. Central Time today of a I call it a dark match. I don't know really what Dustin, but he labeled it Country Rock against Jackson and Abel.
Mm.
And he said a new team, and he didn't call them the Crowleys. So that's what I'm looking forward to. We have Jackson and Abel, really good match. Go out of your way. One of our other favorite tag teams, Country Rock, against them. Before we finish it up with must see, we had newsletter versus newsstand, or newsstand versus newsletter. Our first episode of that. What they do is they look at Pro Wrestling Illustrated and they look at the Observer in a certain year and they kind of compare it. And we talked about this, me and you did. I don't know if on the show, but I know we did off the show, that you were like the PWI. And I was like the Observer when we first started. Dude, I think you're coming over to my side now. I really do. I think you are. But yeah, that's really fun to see what the Observer readers think. And then what actually was going on with PWI and everything. It's really fun. So let me see. We also had a record store, and believe it or not, I don't know where Lance found this, but it was an album of the Monkees. So he bought it, reviewed it. But it was a good episode. What's your must see on this episode?
I think the must see got to go to Uncle Rhino. Little nephew Rhino, can't leave him out. So that's my fam right there. Rhino coming through at the end there, I thought it was just epic. I thought they did that in a perfect fashion. If you're watching on YouTube, then you would know that the thumbnail for it was Rhino.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting there waiting, like, man, I thought he was going to be on this episode. Man, what a treat right there. What a treat, done perfectly. Must see Rhino Goring. Derek King there just laying him out flat.
And Dustin was so good on that, wasn't he?
Gore.
Yeah. Must see the ending of the match with Tiger Joe coming out and Rhino doing the big gore. I absolutely loved it. Loved it. It is one of those things, one of those clips that you can show. When we say must see, it's one of those things I want you to go out of your way. If you don't watch Memphis wrestling, you're still going to enjoy that clip. So if you're just listening to us and say, well, I don't watch every week, go out of your way to see that clip when we say must see. All right, brother, we're going to get out of here. WWE pay-per-view is going on right now, but if you don't have Peacock and want to hang out with some of your friends, go to Dave & Buster's, finish it up, and you can still get a game card. I mean, heck, I play a game card for free. Yeah. For free.
There you go.
And if you're on Patreon, remember, we're debuting our new song. Same bad time, same bad channel, on the best little wrestling podcast in the business. Be there. And as everyone knows, I love my mom.
Me too.